Lesson 6, Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky. So today we are going to begin the fantasy part of the book, and you will learn how the railroad actually operated, but at the same time, there's that railroad in the sky that Harriet Tubman dreamed about when she was old. So the two plots, so the story events, go along side by side, and you'll see what I mean when we begin. Just remember who the conductors were, right? They were the people who helped the enslaved people as they made their way to freedom. The fantasy part of the book is also organized in time order, and I think it will be interesting to make a list of conductors so that we will see the stops or the stations along the imaginary railroad. Later today, I'm going to ask you to help me write a paragraph about one of the enslavers' unfair practices. Think of the reasons against it. I'll give you a chance to share your reasons. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can zoom out here. One day, my baby brother, BB, and I were flying among the stars. Way, way up. So far up the mountains looked like pieces of rock candy, and the oceans like tiny cups of tea. We came across an old ramshackle train in the sky. So we can tell right away that this is going to be a fantasy. How? A tiny woman in a conductor's uniform appeared on the steps of the train and announced the schedule. All aboard, all aboard! Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Niagara Falls, Canada. All aboard, all aboard. So let's find those places on our United States map. They're going to help us see just where the railroad ran. Hundreds of bedraggled men, women, and children filled the sky and boarded the dusty old wooden train. No one spoke. It was like watching a silent movie. "Come on, Cassie," Phoebe said, jumping up on the train. "Let's take a ride." Why would the author compare it with a silent movie? Do you think people were speaking? Okay. "Get off that train, Phoebe. I'll tell Mommy and Daddy, and you will be in a world of trouble," I yelled. But the train quickly moved through the sky and disappeared. All I could see now were flashing lights, sending a threatening message through a sea of clouds. "Go free north or die. Go free north or die. Go free north or die." So why do you suppose Cassie didn't get on the train as well? "Phoebe, come back! Mommy and Daddy will never forgive me for letting you go!" I screamed. Then the woman conductor's voice came like a soft whisper in my ear. "Hello, Cassie. I am Harriet Tubman. People call me Aunt Harriet because I take care of them. During slavery, I carried hundreds of men, women, and children to freedom on the Underground Railroad and never lost a passenger." So, what does Harriet really mean when she says she never lost a passenger? "Let me tell you about slavery, Cassie," Aunt Harriet said. "We were brought here from Africa as slaves to work long hours on plantations for no pay. More of us died on the ships coming over than ever reached the shores. If we tried to escape and were caught, we might have a foot cut off or get sold away from our families, and then we never saw our families and friends again. So it's always hard for me to believe that such things like this could have happened in our country. We've certainly come a long way since those days. But now tell me, why do you think that the master would sometimes cut off a runaway enslaved person's foot?" A legal or church marriage was not allowed, so instead, a man and woman would jump the broom. What do you think it means to jump the broom? Think about the context of the sentence. I'll read it again. A legal or church marriage was not allowed, so instead, a man and woman would jump the broom. So jumping the broom was simply a custom, and it was the best that they could do to show that they intended to be married. The actual custom of a broomstick marriages dates back to Europe in the 18th century. The phrase refers to marriages of like doubtful validity or not legal. It was against the law for a slave to learn to read or write. So why do you think that enslavers did not want their enslaved people to learn how to read? Talk that over with your partner. Or have a meeting, even to preach the word of God. Why did owners not want enslaved people together, even in church? Every 100 years, that old train will follow the same route I traveled on the Underground Railroad so that we will never forget the cost of freedom. Sometimes the train is a farmer's wagon. Sometimes it is a hearse covered with flowers. Inside, a live slave hides in a coffin. You missed this train, Cassie, but you can follow, always one stop behind. When we reach freedom in Canada, you'll be reunited with BB. Cassie, though you can fly, Being a slave will suck you to the ground like quicksand. You will have to walk many miles through the woods and waters on blistered feet, and there will be bounty hunters eager to collect the reward on your head. Follow the North Star. In daylight, look for moss growing on the side of the tree that faces north. Along the way, there will be Underground Railroad agents to give you a place to stay, clean clothes, and food. But until you reach Canada, you are not safe. Go and don't turn back. And remember, if you are caught, you will be severely punished. So it looks to me as though Cassie and BB are going to take different railroads to Canada. Cassie is going to follow the real Underground Railroad, but her brother is going to take a flying ghost train. Okay, we're going to stop there for today.